Hey everyone, welcome to the Camppatton Family Compounds Monday Night Fireside Chat. And tonight's topic is the best survival foods to plant in your garden. Woo! So right now I'm up here alone, and I think everybody's a little busy or something because it's really weird weather going on right now. I was expecting a few other people to come up and join me up here, but hey, life's fun. Now, for those of you who have StreamYard, I just noticed something new during the pre-run here that I hadn't noticed before on StreamYard. When my two intro videos are playing, on the right-hand side where I got those set up here on my StreamYard side, it was actually giving me a countdown. Not the countdown of the timer that you guys saw, but because there's another 4 seconds of that video of the it goes zero, kaboosh. Yeah. And so and the same thing with the Monday night intro is giving me a countdown over there, exactly how many more seconds it had. So that's something cool that StreamYard has added to it. But let's see. Oh, I just froze again. Let's see who all's in the house here. And before I start doing that, I may be freezing a bunch more than I normally do. It started just snowing a little over an hour ago. And when I was on North Star Prep Center, Kathy's live stream, I mean, I'll be there, also everything froze. And it's like, oh man, what's going on? And I can see the thing at the bottom go by, and it's like, okay, it's been refresh, and you go up, freeze again. It was just like, it wasn't me freezing, it was the signal coming in, because evidently the my little satellite radio dish for across the way was at the right angle. The snow was coming the just right way, and was just packing on it. So if we happen to be buffering here, that's the problem. So first one in was Mary Beth Smith, and then Lori J, Queen of the North, also known as Prairie Rider. She has 2 channels. And oh, by the way, Lori's putting out videos again. She's put one out on making Greek yogurt from powdered milk today. Good video. All right, let's see. Always Survive is in the house. Pastor McGuady is here. And scroll on down. Everybody's chit-chatting. Courtney's here. Hey, Courtney, I sent you the link. Rachel Knight is here. And everyone's talking. Cajun Hydroponics. Hey, how you doing? And okay, all right, I'm caught up. Yeah, Lori, the snow is weird. It's a weird pattern coming down on the weather, and there's been a big storm heading through Montana and the Dakotas and stuff, and we're just getting the trailing edge of it, so we're not really getting hit hard. But it was weird is it was raining an hour beforehand. It was actually longer than that. It was raining, and get a little flake now and then would hit the window as it's raining, and so it's a little bit of snow in the rain. But then suddenly at about 10 minutes of quarter of 5 Mountain Time, which is an hour and 20 minutes ago, it just started coming down snow with big monster flakes. In half an hour, there was a ½ inch of snow on the walkway out there. And so that was really kind of strange. All right, let's see anybody else comes in here. Okay, we're going to be getting stuff. So basically the yeah, good thing. I mean, this the wind was blowing and stuff. The fire just started right up, and I've got the fire wood burning in the wood stove in there, just warming the house up a little bit more because temperature started dropping. But yeah, Mother Nature is, as we said on this, what was it? Mother Nature is currently bipolar, suffering from psychopathic hot flashes and something else. But anyways, so Sutton Days was on earlier tonight. Okay, cool. All righty. So basically, I was hoping we have some people up here. So on the panel, some of the ones I invited up here, Carol and Courtney and a few others to talk about stuff they're planning, because even though the topic is best survival foods to plant in your garden, what I think is best survival foods might not be what you think is best survival food. And what we think is best survival foods actually might not be the best thing for us to be planting. I was hoping to get a lot of feedback in on this. That's why I sent the email out to a lot of people to say, hey, come on, this is what we're talking about. So anyways, in some of the books I've read, and especially by survival experts, some of them are survival experts, some of them, pretend to be, but some of the books I've read and stuff, for the most output per square foot on a constant basis, well, one of the guys, actually two of them said the best thing to plant is kale, because kale has a lot of vitamins and potassium and some other things, and it's an ongoing, especially if you keep it trimmed right as you take the leaves off and cut it and trim it just right. Froze again. It'll keep on producing as long as you keep it from bolting. It keeps on producing constantly for the area it's in. And so we got Maccabeus Everyday Survival is here. Raven Cat Homestead, Cecilia's here. All right, we got potatoes. Couple of them saying potatoes there. Carrots. Fruit trees is one that does get put out a lot for a certain time frame. And if you have the ability to can it, yeah, you can put a lot of fruit away and that as well. But some of the ones, all right, kale is one that can grow in through the winter. And if you have the little snow tunnels and stuff to put over the planter beds or the rows where you got it planted, you can keep it growing in below freezing weather. It'll keep growing. And so that's one that you can always get stuff from. And let's see here. I'm just catching up in side chat here. All right, Courtney's saying best thing to grow: peas, carrots, tomatoes, and potatoes. Yeah, tomatoes is one of the things that puts out a lot of fruit. And if you have the jars and stuff, you can can a boatload of tomatoes, whole tomatoes, diced tomatoes, tomato sauces, and you can cover up a lot to carry you through the year. Raspberry and blackberry plants, yes, that is a good one too. Where someone put grapes in there, I thought, yeah, grapes. Grapes is a superfood, and people talk about it that much. All right, grapes have more vitamin C than oranges do, and the leaves have vitamin C in it, and you can use the leaves to make a salad. So there's a lot of, and it has, and if you're growing the dark grapes, the dark purples and the reds, it's got more antioxidants in it than a lot of stuff you can grow. All right. And Lori has a good point here. And so stagger your plants, 1 week behind for each other for 3 weeks, that way crops come in staggered. You don't get totally overwhelmed with everything. And that happened to me by accident for my indoor garden experiment. I had planted 3 Roma tomatoes. All 3 came up, and 2 of them got some sort of blight thing on them, and I got rid of them. And so I planted another one, and it's about 4 weeks behind the first one. So, and the first one already has some blossoms on it. I took the Q-tip and I did the, pollinating thing there. So that's one thing to help on that. Lori has another good point. Make a pallet climbing garden for herbs and stuff and melons. That's really cool. You get stuff growing up on it. However, as pointed out to me by Anthony from Palmetto Prepared, you got to be careful of some of the pallets, because you never know what's been shipped on that pallet and what has been spilt on it. The only pallets you can guarantee what's been shipped on it are the ones that are stenciled, Cert Creek concrete or whatever, or some other concrete supplies, where like they deliver it to the Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever, and they want those back. They, like Home Depot charges $8 a pallet fee if you take a whole pallet load of concrete to get that pallet back. Hey, Homestead, where you are? How you doing? So if you're using pallets, you got to be careful of what was used on them, because if they were shipping some oils or something, and it jostled and spilled and leaked in during shipment, you got this hazardous waste basically on the pallet, so you got to be careful of those. And Rachel says bell peppers are also a good source of vitamin C. Hey, Courtney, you hear that? Destin's planted a lot of vitamin C down there in the basement. Great, but if you want food within the year to stick to tomatoes, peas, carrots, and peppers, lettuce, and potatoes, yes. And that's one of the things I'm trying to do for my indoor garden. I got Roma tomatoes planted, and I froze. I have a boatload of the little finger 3.5-inch long carrots. I got lettuce growing inside. I haven't tried potatoes inside yet. I'm doing some more research to see if it'll even grow decently inside. I'm also having my wife keep an eye out for the green stacking containers. They actually hold more dirt than a lot of the other brands that are scalloped in. These bulge out, so they hold more dirt. And if she can find it on sale again, I may have her grab another set. It's a two size set. She can keep some there. I want to bring some of them up here and try them year round indoor up here. Use a garden net, untreated pallets. Yeah. Corn, unfortunately, is not a high producing per square foot crop. If you have a lot of acreage, corn is good. But if you're stuck in small acreage, for what corn takes from the soil and stuff, it's really not a high producing item. You got to have a lot of ground for it. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to scroll back up here because I know I missed something on the side chat here. Bell peppers. Oh, as far as the pallet climbing garden, if you've seen the videos I've done on my wife's garden in California, when Yardbirds, it was Home Club was first. It went out when Home Club went out of business, and they were selling everything off, and they had these wire racks, 4 foot wide, 8 foot tall, that they'd hang, it was a wire rack that hang the rods on and stuff for, just whatever they were putting packets on there. Okay. Well, they were selling a couple of those things, and I picked up 2 of them for $5 each. These, normally you buy one of these things, it's like $50, and I picked it up, for $5 each. And she has 2 of them out in her garden. Well, if you look behind me between the planter beds, so like let me get my hand right here, right? So from here, she'd have one going up, and over here, she'd have one going up, and she has some boards going across the top to keep them so it's stable. And she runs her peas up over that, and it goes up over the top, and peas hang down. She goes in there and picks peas, all the time. What's it going? All right. Let's see. Winter wheat. Yeah, that winter wheat though takes acreage. You need a couple acres to get a decent return on your wheat to give you enough for the year. Popcorn is something more Courtney wants to try. Oh yeah. You're right, Maccabeus. Raccoons, deer can totally blitz a cornfield really quick. And hogs, wild hogs, will just totally destroy a cornfield. They'll destroy any garden. They'll come in there and go and root around looking for all the grubs and worms and totally destroy all the vegetation. Okay. All right. Okay. West Coast Seeds in Canadian, have a bunch of heirloom seeds. All right, folks, if you're looking for heirloom seeds, check it out, West Coast Seeds. And if one of you that have a blue wrench there, can go ahead and throw the link in the chat for everyone to look at. And Steve is running through real quick. Sorry I missed it this morning, Steve. I was dealing with grandsons. So baseball practice. Hey, at least it's not snowing on you. And of course, the snow, I just looked out the window. The snow has stopped. And most of that snow that came down has melted already. I couldn't even run out there to do snow angels for Steve. All right. Yeah. And there's when it comes to heirloom seeds and hybrids, there are some hybrids that actually you can harvest seeds from and get them to produce again. You have to be careful and make sure they don't get cross-pollinated. Yeah, Steve, we had a half inch of snow here, and it's already melted. I mean, it snows and it melts. And hang on a second, I'm going to open up the blinds here so I can look outside here. And yeah, it stopped snowing, and most of it is melted out there. There's just a few little spots where as it's melting here. Okay, and Courtney says Roger Seeds is a good place as well to check out. Hey, Gunslinger, how's it going? Yeah, yours just melted. Hey, what was bad? All right. Yesterday morning, I woke up. There's 3.5 inches of snow out there. Okay, so I fiddle farted around the house. I'll go out and I'll measure it later. And I got the fire going, made breakfast, did some stuff, checked my email stuff, went and looked outside, and half of it was melted. By 5 o'clock, it was all gone. So, and then here again tonight at 4:45 mountain. This is a mountain time. So 4:45 mountain time. It had been raining up until then, a little bit, just a couple snowflakes now, then hitting and melting instantly. Then about 4:45, it turned to snow only, and there are monster flakes. And then by 5:30, it had stopped, and now it's almost all completely melted again. Okay, let's see here. Hey, CB. We got Hugo Homestead in the house. Rachel, don't you have snow up on the top of the mountains there? Because I've seen pictures of people going up there and skiing in Speedos and bikinis. Hey, Josh, how's it going? Got Gardener Josh in the house. So, we've had mentioned some good crops and stuff, but if you're limited to one plant, wait, I'll make sure I'm not stepping on another topic here. Let me double check. No, that's in 2 weeks, so we're going to skip that. All right. So, what would be your favorite plant, or a couple? If you had 2 or 3 plants to plant, what would be your two or three plants that you're going to plant? If that's all you can plant, all right, in the garden, that you're going to want to get as much food from to survive. Okay, Lori says potatoes. Potatoes and tomatoes. potato, tomato, ouzo, whatever. Yeah. All right. So yeah, I'm thinking, potatoes for me is right now probably not our high thing. Tomato is probably number one here. Tomato and all right, homestead where you are. Tomatoes, green beans, and squash. Yeah. Green beans, you can broadcast that and do. A couple of years ago, I did a spot over across the street there. Yeah, 2 years ago, and we had more green beans coming in, and my daughter and son-in-law were out there picking practically every day, gathering beans and stuff, and they didn't even get a fifth of the beans that we wound up just tilling back under, putting nitrogen back into soil. But that was it. Potatoes, cabbage, tomatoes. Okay. Red potatoes are best for canning. Cabbage is also a long storage veggie over winter. Okay, I'm just sorry. I don't want to miss up here. All right. So the grow bags Rachel ordered are back ordered on Amazon. Yeah, Amazon's getting hit right now with a lot of people trying to order stuff. What is she up to now? Hey, how you doing? I don't think I've seen you in here before. Welcome very much. Pork. I froze again. Yeah, pork, beef, chicken if they're plants, taters, and elderberries. Yes. My daughter's trying to plant some elderberries. She's got raspberries she's trying this year across the street. So, yeah. Onions. Yes, onions and carrots. That's one of the things I've got going here right now is I got a lot of onions going in. I got, all right, the Walla Walla sucked. I only got 3 that have survived. But I got a bunch of the yellow sweet Spanish onions and a bunch of the red burgundies that are growing. And like Courtney says, yeah, onions are turning out really easy. And garlic is something I haven't done yet. I'm going to be this fall. I'm going to be trying to plant garlic in a couple of the raised planter beds. And I'm going to put covers over them to see how well they do throughout the winter. And hey, Billy Akers, how's it going? All right, just trying to catch up here on everything here. Anybody stuff here? Okay, Pat McGuire says try eBay for. Oh yeah, the B is next to the V, so that's a typo for grow bags. Now, yeah, okay. Yeah, so carrots and stuff you can store in the basement in sand. Apples you can store by wrapping up in newspapers and putting them in boxes and stuff. I don't know what it is, but there's something about wrapping them up in newspapers help preserve the apples, especially if you keep them nice, cold, and crisp. Let's see here. Tomatoes, peas, green beans. One of the things that, shoot, I just had a brain fart here. Sorry, folks. My brain froze this time. Someone said something that I was going to comment on it. Then a whole bunch of comments came in. Oh, the grow bags. The problem with the grow bags is if the bag is at indirect sunlight, it'll lose water more than 2 times as fast than a pot will, because it just kind of vaporizes out through the sides and everything. And my wife, I think she's totally stopped using grow bags unless she has it in a spot under the tree where it's in the shade and she's growing shade stuff in there, because she was having to water like 2-3 times as much as the pots. And since, thank you, Governor Newsom, for letting all that water go in December. Northern California is in a severe drought this year. But and of course, Southern California wants us to send all the water we have left over down to them. Oh, that was it. Now I remember when what was Laura was saying about potatoes and carrots and storing them over winter. Is it butternut banana? Oh shoot, forget what it is. It's one of squash. It's a hard shell squash. It's kind of weird shape, long about that. They get that big or bigger. Uncle Al's always telling everybody to plant it, and that one, my daughter planted a bunch 2 years ago, and she still has a couple of them down in the basement that are still good. So they've been in there a year and a half, and they're still good. I don't think it wasn't spaghetti. I don't think it was spaghetti squash. It was I keep wanting to say butter squash or butternut squash or something. Yeah, all right. Courtney says, yeah, butternut squash. That's the one that Uncle Al was always talking. And my daughter planted some because she saw one of the lives when Uncle Al was on there. She planted it, and yeah, she should. Yeah, it's you got to work on it once you know getting the stuff out and scraping it out with an ice cream scoop and to cook it up. But yeah, she's had it for she's cooked a lot of stuff with those, all those ones she stored down in the basement. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to bring up the picture up here again, just so everybody can look at it. Let's see. All right. So we got the tomatoes. We got the green beans. I guess is that green bean or is that okra? That's the long stuff. Got the peas in the hand right there. Got different types of potatoes. And I can see parsley and some strawberries in the pot down over here on the far right. Yeah, so there are a variety of things you can plant. I'm just trying to work this so I don't say, hey, Emma, how's it going? So I don't offend anybody. I'm thinking probably for me and my family, and probably a lot of you out there, tomatoes are probably going to be the most versatile thing you can do, because with the tomatoes, hey, Aiden there, how's it going? One of the things you can do with the tomatoes, you can freeze, blanch them and freeze them. You can dehydrate them. And once you dehydrate them, you can powder them. If you have a freeze dryer, you can freeze dry the tomatoes and make tomato chips. You can can them a bunch of different ways. You can can them whole, can them half, dice them up, make just a tomato sauce, make a tomato paste, make pasta sauces. And when it comes to pasta sauces, you probably get about 20 different flavors, a way to do that. And Emma says survival food to her means calorie-dense food. Radishes is probably one of the ones. What is the Japanese radish? I wish Uncle Al was in here. Daikon, the daikon radishes. If you have them in the good soil, those suckers get about that big around and about 2 feet long. Oh, okay. We're getting a recipe here, folks. Sliced, scrape out all the seeds from the butternut squash, fill with apple chunks, cinnamon, raisins, brown sugar, bake. Ooh, okay. I'm going to have to tell my daughter about that one. My grandsons might just go totally nuts over that one. I love my maters. Oh, maters. Yeah, tomatoes. Okay. Sorry, I was trying to pick up the glass. Okay, is that motors? No, that's maters. Okay. I don't know. Has anybody ever roasted the seeds from butternuts? I don't know. I'll have to check my daughter. She did a bunch of stuff. I know she may have roasted it for her kids. Oh, and Courtney's scoring. Courtney is scoring. Belly Acres is sending her the Egyptian walking onions in the morning. Woohoo! Hey, Suburban Hillbilly, how's it going? Yeah, any squash dehydrates good too. And with the squashes, you can, especially like zucchini and patty pans. And so I'm just losing the names up. If my mom was here, she'd name off 20 different squash she used to grow. You can make, you can actually dehydrate it, powder it, and use it as a flour. You can mix, you can grind it up and add it in for making breads and stuff as well. My daughter and wife have been doing that a lot. And zucchini, man. I don't know what it is about the brands of zucchini my wife gets. She sent some seeds up to my daughter and did the same friggin' thing up here as they do in California. She has, like a small 15-gallon pot. She'll have a zucchini plant planted in there. And if she doesn't go out and check on it every day, she'll have one this big one day. The next day, that same one is that long and about that big around. And it's like, what the heck happened? Zucchini is one of these ones that just do totally bonkers, and it just, it grows slow, all of a sudden, poof. And you can get a lot of plants off of zucchini. And if you have the right equipment and stuff, you can, you can freeze it, you can powder it, you can dehydrate it, you can do all sorts of stuff with zucchini. It's another plant that's easy to, at least all the zucchini we've planted grew really easy, grew big, and turned out a boatload of zucchini off of it. And of course, the patty pans did the same thing for us. And so the patty pans, though, had a problem. The cows would break out of the corral to go eat the patty pans. They loved, they actually loved the patty pan squash. And Lori had an important thing. Yeah. Plant what you eat. And yeah, so that, for the stuff I'm planting here is, I eat the carrots, I eat the tomatoes, I eat the chard, the rainbow chard, the onions. I process it first before I eat them. Hey, Idaho Garden Girl, how's it going? Oh, and Lori added, and a tiny bit of stuff you've never eaten before to see if you like it. Very important. Expand your taste buds. Courtney, I do not like squash at all. However, even though I don't like it, if squash is there and I have butter, I will eat squash to survive. I guarantee you. But normally I do not like squash. But my wife loves it. My daughter loves it. And they do other things with it. I've eaten some of the breads they've made with the squash and stuff, and it's not bad. So yeah, squash is one of those things. Yeah, we will plant just because it's good. All right, Courtney, your peas are in the ground and they are growing. Okay, I've always heard about people talk about breadcrumbs, etc., to stretch a meal. Yeah, exactly. With zucchini, you can stretch it with zucchini. You can stretch meals with spinach and Swiss chard. And here he is. I thought of Howie, and Howie came in. Yes. I would probably say, if Howie, I bet if he hasn't said it before I say it, Howie's going to put down as one of the survival foods to plant is the sunchoke, aka the Jerusalem artichoke. He talks about planting that stuff all the time. It's very good for your health. You have to be careful because the sunchoke / Jerusalem artichoke will take over your garden. But if you plant it in the proper areas and stuff, it's a great source of food year round. And Howie, so we got the King of the North, Howie Food Forest Permaculture, and we have the Queen of the North, Lori J. Yeah, Steph, I know, Garden Girl. Yeah, I got the snow. Today is Monday, so Saturday night we got this. No, actually, yesterday we got the snow in the morning over Saturday night, Sunday morning. It was melted by Sunday afternoon. We got snow a little bit this afternoon. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Get your seeds now. Any seeds you might think about wanting to plant, get them. The interesting thing is on the sweet Spanish onions and red burgundies, what I planted here, and I'm having like a 90% germination rate on my onions. Those seeds are over 2 years old. Okay. And so that's so seeds last something, and they say this year only using well, hey, they're over 2 years old, and they're getting 90% germination on those. Now the Walla Wallas I bought in the fall here didn't do squat. All right, Courtney asked a question here. Howie, can you answer this for Courtney or Howie? If you want, tell you what, I'm just going to drop it in here. I haven't seen any trolls or anything. I'll watch the troll come in. There's the link if some of you want to come up here, and because it's probably a lot easier to talk and get more information out than trying to type less than 200 words, enter. 200 words, enter. Or not 200 words, 200 characters. And I froze. Okay, yes. And seeds, if you keep them cool and dry, they generally last a long time, because there is up there in Iceland, they have the one of the world seed banks where they keep the seeds frozen for decades. Yes. Howie says butternut squash. So I'm not sure if he means that, Courtney, I'm not sure if he means that's kind of what the sunchokes taste like. I know Howie's done several videos on talking about the sunchokes and how to cook them up and stuff. So just trying to keep up there on it. If you have a river nearby, there's a place where you have a survival food growing fish. One of the things that, all right, here he is, the man, the myth.
Hey, Gil, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
I can show you my plants. You
cool.
See?
Oh, all right.
There you go. I've got trays and trays underneath LED lights. You start them 3 or 4 weeks before the last frost,
Yeah.
Squash, right? Lots of squash because they store well. And I'm growing the 500-pound pumpkin this year, so that's going to be nice. But
and you get one that weighs 250 pounds. That's a lot of pumpkin.
Well, yeah, you can just freeze that stuff. Hey, like cut up in chunks and pop it in the freezer. It's just as good, And you can dry it too, shred it and dry it. But seed saving is a big thing when you whatever you grow this year, leave some stuff to go to seed so you don't have to buy it. Dry it out real good and put it in them pill containers. And when you put it in the pill container, fill it up as much as you can. Make sure they're dry real good. And then the cap that you put on, dip it in wax, put it in the freezer. It's good for 3, 4, 5. That's it. 1,000 years. Yeah.
This is one of our neighbors gave us some huge cantaloupes. and I pulled the seeds from one of the cantaloupes.
Yeah,
So
I got
a bunch of seeds here to try later on this summer.
Where you are, this is the best one, the Minnesota midget. That's the best one you want to get because it's ready in 60 days.
Okay.
And it doesn't grow really big, but boy, is it tasty, and it'll grow anywhere in North America. You're going to get 60 days of summer, right?
Yeah. And so, how long usually does it keep producing fruit?
Oh, when you take them off, more come, and then you can cover it with plastic and extend the season. And I'm planting these tomorrow underneath my lights. I have a lot of LED lights now. I never used to do that. I used to go with natural sunlight and greenhouses,
Yeah.
But my garden, my food forest floor is just a big green carpet. It's something to see, I'll tell you. And I'm growing this here this is an early Canada improved watermelon. Okay. These are ones that you want to grow if you in the north, like in Idaho and places like you are and stuff, right? Yeah. You're only going to get 60 days of good sun.
Yeah.
And that's the ones you want. You want to see when it says early, that's the one for you. Like, especially these are hot weather crops, right?
What was the name of that cantaloupe again?
Minnesota midget.
Minnesota midget, not California midget, Lori. Minnesota midget.
This is for the far north. And what you do is you make a little mound and then put some black plastic on it. Mm-hmm. And that heats the mound during the day, and then you put a little slit in the black plastic, and then pop this in. You've grown this inside for like 3 or 4 weeks, right? And then you pop it outside. A month and 2 months later, you're eating cantaloupe, and these store for up to 3 months.
Cool.
Okay, so you can store these for a really long time. What you want to do before you buy something, do your research because you want to extend your supplies.
Yeah.
And keep the seed from this. I didn't have this one in seed, but I have, my seed bank's over to my right here. I just took it all out of the freezer. I have trays and trays of seed, because I saved seed from, 40 years ago when I was a kid, I've got seed from then. I have seed from my grandfather stored.
Oh, yeah. And seeds, if they're kept right, will last decades.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the packages of seed, it says, for the 2022 growing season only. And it's like, not if we store it right.
No, seed's good for a long time. This seed here is spaghetti squash. Now, this lasts a long time. I have I have about 15 spaghetti squash from last season sitting over to my right. And a lot of squash like these ones and butternut squash can last 2 years in the correct temperature without molds and mildews. Yeah. So, you can really store food for a long time if you know which ones that will do that. And you kind of get a feel for it. Like a lot of people put them in a cellar. Well, no, there's molds and there's little damp down there. That's great for potatoes and turnips and cabbages, but not so much for squash or Minnesota midgets.
When I was growing up, we had a cover. The house we bought in the 60s had what was called the cooler cupboard. It had a screen vent on the bottom and a screen vent on the top. So the cold air would come in from the bottom because it was a natural draw, and everything kept in that cupboard was cooler than. It was almost like putting in the fridge, but it was dry. It was dry and everything, and so. That's what, if you have a way of building a cooler cupboard, that is for stuff like that. Now, Aidenair, not only was that ones in the clay pot that they found here in the U.S., Ron Netzel was talking about over in England, they had a field that had gotten had gotten so depleted and the soil was bad and stuff really wasn't growing good. All of a sudden, seeds sprouted from a species they thought was extinct, but because the soil had gotten bad, that's the type of soil this particular plant thrives in. And all of a sudden, the seeds that were in the ground for 50, 60, 100 years, whatever, all right, time for us to revitalize this soil.
That's what happened in the desert in Egypt when permaculturists started working in the desert in Egypt. you started getting this Egyptian iris that was extinct for 400 or 500 years, and they're popping up. And then mushrooms that haven't been seen for 100 years popping up here and there. And it's like, oh, you just provide the right environment. Yeah. And you got to think incubator like a baby, an infant. And that's how you got to think when you're doing seedlings. And think, what does a cold weather crop like besides a hot weather crop?
Yeah.
That's the two that you think about when you're growing food and storing food. That's like you're saying about your cool temperature cupboard. And dry. It's not cold and damp like a cellar. No, there's two ways to store food. And a lot of people store, on the West Coast, they just leave their potatoes in the ground and their carrots and their beets, and they go out and take them out in their leeks and kale, and they harvest all year round. And now with the Willopinas and with hoop houses, people on the West Coast of North America, right all the way to Alaska, they're growing all year round with rocket stoves, man.
Yeah.
You're going to have to do something because food prices are gone crazy.
Yeah. Lori says her basement is finished and dry, which means a more modern basement. But like the basement across the street here, this next fall, my daughter is setting money aside. She's going to buy a dehumidifier to put down in the basement to draw all the moisture out. Well, the thing is, all that moisture, all that water she draws out and runs through it, she can run through the water filter, and it's drinkable water.
Or for watering your plants.
Yeah, exactly.
They're doing that in Arizona in the desert. They're using that in the desert, and they're getting drinking water, right?
One of the things I did here, and I bring it up over here. So I've been doing my indoor garden experiment, try to do a year-round indoor garden here.
Nice.
And so here it is. I have the kind of the reddish pinkish glow grow lights. Well, these are the same company, but these are the white ones. They were usually more than the pink one. So that's why I went, saving money. I went with, same
white light and red light.
Yeah. Well, it's the same spectrum, but this is, the one has the white tint. The other one is the red tint. So I ordered this set here. There's 6 of these for $99. So it's supposed to be arriving Wednesday, or is it Thursday? Let me go back here. It is.
I used to have lights like that in the greenhouse, but now I've switched to LEDs. It's $2 a month to run my LED, where those lights cost a bit more. Yeah. And they don't last as long as an LED. I get 50,000 hours on an LED, eh?
Oh, it's all right. This is arriving Thursday. So nice. Thursday, I'll be getting it probably in the afternoon. So Friday, I'll be doing a video changing out some of those red ones and adding more lights for all, because I keep on expanding my indoor garden.
Nice. You have to. Here, I'll show you mine. Here's mine. Here's my light here. Can you see that?
Yep. Let me make you big here. Yep, got it.
And these are all the plants. These are tomato. These are 6 types of tomato plants, and I'll grow them in little bunches and separate them. And here, this is cucumbers. I'll give you a shot of the cucumbers. There they are, there, little cucumbers. And these are 8-inch slicers.
Ooh.
Right? And you got to grow them inside early so you can get food early. But you also sow direct into the soil too. But an LED is the best light on the market. You can't go wrong for cost-wise, for like the hydro consumption.
Yeah.
And then they're good for 50,000 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, that's incredible. And I ended up with this one for free. The company Solnova sent it to me for a promotion.
Cool.
So I checked out the price of it. It was $150.
Whoa.
And they gave it to me for free. So I never used one before. I just refused. I always went with natural light and a little bit of tube light, like what you're doing. Those work good. You keep them really close, like 1 inch. You can even touch the greenery, like what
Yeah.
you're growing inside with those tube lights. You can actually almost touch the greenery. That's how close you can get them. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lori, the difference in the tents, some of the LED lights are a different spectrum. Some are made for flowering plants. Some
Well, yeah.
are made for
This
vegetation.
one I can dial in. This
Yeah.
one I dial in for white or red light on the spectrum.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right.
But the LEDs are expanding now what they do. Some of them are still have the kind of the reddish, pinkish, whatever tint to it, but they're still full spectrum. And then
Full
there's
spectrum,
others that
yeah.
are full spectrum that are white, which is the ones I just ordered from the same company. But the full spectrum white usually costs a little bit more than the full spectrum red tint.
Yeah.
And so that's just the difference on that there. Hey, Uncle Al, how's it going?
Oh, Uncle Al's here. This one here's got it. You dial it in to your red or white light. You just dial it, which I thought, well, geez, that's perfect because one you want for blooming to make the seed or the, and if you're a grower, budding. And then you want one for vegetative. That's what that's all about, eh?
Yeah.
You want the veg. And if you're growing inside, like you're doing, like for your veg, you want vegetable greenery. And it's really tough to grow some things like inside, like you can't grow asparagus inside, broccoli. Those kind of things don't grow inside.
Yeah, they need the cool nighttime air, really.
Microgreens are the best to grow inside.
Yeah.
Underneath your lights that you have.
Yeah. My tomato plant, my Roma tomato plant already has blossoms on it.
Yeah.
Which surprised the heck out of me.
Yeah.
And so, hey, Carpenter Self-Alliance. And so, hey, Digs Outdoors in here too. So there's a lot of things I'm finding out that doing my experiment here. The one thing I did notice though is that the rainbow chard isn't it. I think I need to put some more lights closer to it or whatever.
Cold
because it's
cold. They need cold.
Yeah. Well,
they need really cold.
Okay. Maybe I need to move it to a different room. When I get those other lights, I'll move it to a different room where it's farther away from the wood stove. Yeah.
Yeah. Try a mister.
I do have the mister in it, and I have a mister with the 1 tablespoon per gallon of 1 tablespoon of Epsom salt per gallon of water, and they get that once a week.
Yeah. Well, tomatoes love that.
But it's stringy, it's leggy. It's it's leggy. So I think I need to get
you don't have the right light spectrum if it's stringy and leggy.
It's a little bit farther away. The lights probably need to be closer to it.
Oh yeah. With the tube light, you can put it right on the plant.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is probably later tonight, I'm going to move it into the spare bedroom back here, which is the coldest room in the house, and just put a couple. I have the screw-in LED lights. I got a full spectrum one, a couple of those. I'll put one on each side of it, really close to it.
Well done. I'm going on to a live stream here pretty quick. It's on 5G, how to block all the 5G coming into your community and on your house or farm, right? So I've got to go. It's been a pleasure.
What site is that? Who's doing that?
It's called Life Force Canada.
Life Force Canada.
Life Force Canada, and they send you a link on Zoom. You have to sign up. Okay. And her name is Clausen.
Okay.
Her last name is Clausen, and it's Life Force Canada. And what it does is it shows you about the smart meters and how to block all that out. Where it does, there's a doctor on there, a professor coming on there. Yeah. They'll put it up on YouTube later, and you can watch it. It's called Life Force Canada, and Karen Clausen's putting it on, and she develops her own municipalities. So they get rid of the councils that are there if they're not working. Yeah. So they create new councils with the governor general and this and that. They're very advanced people.
here in the United States, the FCC got bought off and approved it and passed a regulation that no community can deny them access.
That's
so it's going to have to go through the courts to get that overturned.
A lot of communities in the States and in Canada, there's the Good Old Boys Network, and they can really pick on somebody trying to get ahead, hey? Yeah. And they do, and they really do. If you look up Granby, Colorado, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Yeah. The guy built a bulldozer and went crazy. Yeah. Anyway, Gil, it's been a pleasure. Save your seeds. Save your seeds, even from food you buy from the store. Tomatoes, they'll grow. You just squirt some tomatoes juice onto the soil, it'll grow. All
right. Thanks, Howie.
You're welcome, but it was great seeing you.
All righty, guys. So, Lori, yes, answered there, who's answered it? Suburban Hillbilly said, yes, it's the same stuff. The stuff Epsom salts I get is from Sam's Club. It's how much do they weigh? 5 or 10 pound bags of Epsom salt in a box. And so that's what I've been getting. And back in 2020, I picked up probably 5 boxes of it just to have stored because it never goes bad. And sure enough, the price has just about doubled on it since then. So, all righty, we're getting close to the end of the hour. I want to thank everybody that came in here, all the comments in the side chats, all the suggestions on best survival food to plant, best things you can do. And I think the one point there was, I think it was Emma that pointed out, probably your best food look at is the calories per weight, that you get, and the amount you can grow, how many calories you can grow from that plant is something that'll is a good key to a good survival food. Just make sure you like it. Like I said, I don't like squash, but I especially zucchini and stuff. But if it's got enough butter on it, enough salt and stuff, I'll eat it. Brussels sprouts, forget it. Hey, I'm sorry, my wife can't even bribe me with something for that stuff. But anyways, so that's what's going on there. We're wrapping this up here. Let me give one more quick little information here off the other screen here. So tomorrow night on Gray Man Prepping, my other channel, at 10 o'clock Eastern for Tactical Tuesday. The topic for tomorrow night, I froze, and that's a good thing because the topic is what do you do about the internet? So if your internet goes, you need to figure out things you can do to get by for information and for entertainment and stuff. So we're going to cover a big spectrum of about what to do without the internet tomorrow night on Gray Man Prepping. Mary Beth says, put cheese on the squash. My wife put grated cheese and bacon on there on some dish she made with the squash. I almost got hit because I said, why did you ruin the bacon and cheese by putting squash under it? Anyways. Okay. Pastor McGlotty. Zucchini fried in butter after being soaked. Oh, okay. For your frying after salt, pepper. Okay. Okay. I just got to, knuckle down and try it several times until I learned to like it. All right. So that's it for tonight. I want to thank everybody again coming in here. All the great information coming in here. Those that came in late, we had some good information going out at the beginning. So you may want to go back and catch the replay tomorrow or later tonight. In an hour from now, over on Wide Family Farm is Media Monday. And hopefully I'll see all you guys over there. I know I'll see Ginger over there because Ginger is Courtney's #1 fan. All right, folks. As always, stay happy no matter what life throws at you. Stay safe. Don't go out and do anything foolish. Keep adding to your preps. Water, food, medicines, clothing, skills, and anything else you think you might need to thrive. All right? Catch you later.